we saw from reputable journalists like Charles Watson and the likes, they said Brighton deserved the win. And I believe it because I've seen in the Europa League how the second string play. We saw how we took a beating at PSV. Like when there's likes of Nketiah, Holding, Vieira, Lokonga come to the team, Rhys Nelson, where again, Marquinhos, those guys from they're not just Arsenal standard. They are not. Aside from the first team, which we know we have the confidence when we go to play any other team, I'm 90% sure we will get a victory. But when Arteta rotates and bring in these second string players, this quote unquote competition, they are not just competition in my opinion. I'm sure the Kroenkes have seen it. The management of the club have seen it that we need to bring in reinforcement in January. We just have to. If we want to compete with Man City, which I'm not sure we can win the league, but if there's a gap, we might actually sneak in and win the league. Arsenal losing out in the Carabao Cup. Arsenal won Brighton 3 at the Emirates. Unfortunately, we are out of the Carabao Cup. Like, I'm not going to shed a tear. I'm not going to get overly emotional or upset about that match, even though I didn't necessarily want to lose it, but I was expecting this kind of result. Most of you that are Arsenal fans, most of you that follow Arsenal religiously, you understand why I had my reservations about winning this match. Number one, we've seen empirical evidence, we've seen in the Europa League that our second string team, when Arteta rotates and bringing 6 to 7 players, the chemistry, the fluency, the penetration, I mean football, don't get your head twisted. The power, the pressure is just not there. Lokonga, the Sambi Bambi Lokonga is not good enough for Arsenal. In case regardless of his score, the only goal for Arsenal. We know you have this purple patch. He's not just that striker you can rely on. Even though he can have some purple patches, he's not dependable. Fabio Vieira, he has a flash of brilliance. For me, he hasn't adjusted to the pace in England. The last few cameos have been very, very abysmal. So I wasn't surprised with the result. Now, most of us couldn't watch the match live for some reasons. The match was not being shown live. So either you were in the stadium in London, which I'm not in London, America at the moment, or you read the match report. Reading the match report, according to the report and some of the tweets we saw from reputable journalists like Charles Watson and the likes, they said Brighton deserved the win. And I believe it because I've seen in the Europa League how the second string play. We saw how we took a beating at PSV. Like when there's likes of Nketiah, Holding, Vieira, Lokonga come to the team, Rhys Nelson, where again, Marquinhos, those guys from they're not just Arsenal standard. They are not. Aside from the first team, which we know we have the confidence when we go to play any other team, I'm 90% sure we will get a victory. But when Arteta rotates and bring in these second string players, this quote unquote competition, they are not just competition in my opinion. I'm sure the Kroenkes have seen it. The management of the club have seen it that we need to bring in reinforcement in January. We just have to. If we want to compete with Man City, which I'm not sure we can win the league, but if there's a gap, we might actually sneak in and win the league if Man City fall off. So if we need to compete and want to cement our place in the top 4 and actually win the FA Cup or the Europa League, we need to bring in reinforcement. We've been lucky with injuries. That's why we've been doing very, very well in the English Premiership. That's why if we are hit with 2 or 3 injuries to like likes of Partey, touch wood, we won't get those injuries, or Xhaka for an extended period of time, or Saliba, or Gabriel Magalhaes, or Jesus, we will struggle. It's evident we will struggle. So we need to make sure we bring in reinforcement. Hopefully, like Smith-Rowe can recover and come and join the team. Hopefully, we won't need too much of playing time for Nketiah. I don't just trust him. Like, it's so funny that when I got the notification that Arsenal scored the first goal, Eddie scored the first goal, I wasn't excited because I saw the team news. If you look at the team news, you can see that Brighton went relatively strong. They didn't just overly rotate. And because we know Arsenal have to rotate because we have a game at the weekend, we need to win so can remain at top of the summit. So I understand why Arteta was not going to heavily rotate. But we know Reece can't do it. Not consistently, even though he had an assist. Nketiah can't do it. Sambi the Bambi Lokonga can't do it. Fabio Vieira has been inconsistent. You have to I understand Vieira because is a new kid on the block, but you can see that Vieira just needs time and he needs to bulk up. You can see, even though I'll admit, last few games he has come in, he has been terrible. He has been very, very he has been playing below par. I get that, but I think eventually Fabio Vieira will come through. But the likes of Sambi, this is the second season. Nketiah has been here as an academy player for forever, holding for me. We need to sell him. He's not just good enough. He did not commit any, according to the report, the goals were not actually his fault, but we know his passing, his pace is not Arsenal standard, and we need to. As in, let's stop getting attached to these players. I love Arsenal players while they are here, and I'll support them. And I have the right to criticize them objectively. Like, let me know if you think Holding, Sambi, Nketiah, and Reese are reliable players to come off the bench. Like, let me know. Maybe I'm tripping. But for what I've watched, what I've seen, I don't think these players are reliable players to come off the bench. Now, they can come on one or two matches, or they can be mixed with the first team, and they will do reasonably well because the first team players actually can cover their flaws. But most of the part, when we actually bring 2 to 3 or 4 changes to the team, we go flat, and we cannot do that. So, like I said, going through the match report, Brighton deserved to win. Arsenal huffed and puffed, and we couldn't just get a breakthrough. And am I too surprised? Like I said, nah. Am I getting overly disappointed? No, it's one tournament down. We still have the FA Cup, the Europa League, and the league to go for. I think with the quality of players and the number of players we have in the squad, I understand why we shouldn't overly commit to the Carling Cup. I'm not disrespecting the cup, but we have to be sensible and scale our priorities rightly. If you look at the stats, so let's look at the stats real quick. We have 57% of the possession. Brighton had 43% of possession. We had 4 shots on target. They had 4 shots on target, and they scored 3. So those are the vital stats, regardless of other secondary stats, not too relevant. I am not shocked we have been bundled out of the Carabao Cup. Guys, let me know, are you feeling very disappointed, or you understand the situation? Or are some of you actually questioning Arteta? For me, I'm not questioning Arteta. I am not going to question Arteta on this because I understand he had to make those changes. He had to. And how many times will we have to give opportunities to these guys and they keep on failing? Like I said, the empirical evidence that made me not to put too much stock into this game was from the Europa League, because I've seen them 6 times and they haven't delivered. So I wasn't shocked the 7th time in the Carabao Cup they will not deliver. If you like my content, make sure you stick a like to the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's very, very important. And do not forget to turn the notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one.